As a 37-year-old man that stopped playing video games in 2005. 13 years later, I was walking near a video game shop and I saw this. And I knew right away that I had to buy a PS4 and this game. Unfortunately, as a noob in the Soul series, I was totally unprepared for the difficulty of this game. So to beat the main game with the 17 bosses, plus the 31 from the Chalice dungeons, plus the 5 from the DLC, it took me 170 hours and thousands of deaths. That's almost 1 hour a day for Alpha year. But trust me, if you're gonna buy this game, please do not quit. With patience, you can become good at this game and you will love it, I promise you. My advice is to level up till level 55 for the main game. Then go to the Chalice dungeons and 2 bosses will make you level up to 75. After the Chalice dungeons, I started my second playthrough in NG Plus and bought the DLC, and then 1 boss in the DLC made me level up to 100. My top 10 is not by how hard the bosses are, but by my death count in my first playthrough. So let's begin. It's funny, because the times I died to the first boss in the DLC was also the times I died to the Cleric Beast, my first boss in the game. And let me tell you, Ludwig is one of the best bosses ever made in video games. He is the definition of epic, the amazing introduction, the arena filled with blood and corpses, the incredible boss design, and the music. Oh my god, the music. It screams epic all the way. I had a hard time with this mutant horse, but it was a boss I almost didn't want to beat, just so I could fight him again and again. The best strategy I could find to beat this guy was to dodge left, hit him 2 or 3 times and dodge back. And in the second phase, stay close to him and do the same, but always try to look at his sword so you can time the dodges, and you will beat this mutant horse. Oh man, I hate it every time I died to this Lord of the Rings Nazgul lookalike boss. Especially because I couldn't find a shortcut in the forest area. So to do all that path again and again was an absolute pain. What's even worse is that when you finally discover the best strategy of how to beat this boss, it becomes so easy. Kill the katana guy first, then bring this guy between the big rock and the flamethrower, and just simply do this. Then go as fast as you can and do the same to the last guy before he does a spell where he will bring giant snakes that might kill you, and that's it. It's that easy. A cool boss in a very annoying area. That's how I see the Shadows of Yarn. So of all the bosses in the game, I only saw videos of the DLC bosses. But I read tons of comments, so I knew that people hated the Abritas and found her really hard. I have to agree with the hard part, but to be honest, I probably would put the Abritas in my top 5 favorite bosses of the game. Her design is fucking crazy. The place where you fight her is beautiful, and the music is really good. You can fight her by going behind her and hit her again and again, but this becomes a boring shit fight. If you really want to love this fight, go face to face. This is probably the boss from the main game with more one-shot moves. She can one-shot you with a charge, with that hug she gives you and then eats you alive, or with a really hard to dodge call from beyond. And that's what makes this fight so exciting, because you have to be perfect to beat her. I like to use the long axe and wait for when she exposes the head and hit her twice, and sooner or later she will fall and you can do a visceral attack. Keep doing this and be quick on the dodges and you can win this amazing epic fight. I have to be honest and say that I cheated with this boss. I enjoy most of the fights in Bloodborne, but I hate this guy, period. He was okay to fight in the other dungeons, but in this area, it's a nightmare. He's super fast, hits like a truck, and I find him the hardest boss in the game to parry. I know parrying is not my specialty, but I got to the point of shooting this guy 20 times and get 0 parries. 0. His first phase is not so hard, but it's extremely boring. Dodge right, hit him once, and dodge back. For his second phase though, fuck it. I don't have the patience to learn all his moves. I totally cheated and killed him through the pillars. I mean, he does the same to you, so fuck it. A very difficult and annoying boss in a shitty arena. Fuck this guy. This boss is easily one of the best in the game, and it's super cool to fight him the first time you meet him. Second time though, not so much. In the Defiled Chalice, your health is reduced to half, so most of his moves will one-shot you, and it becomes another fight where you need to be flawless. Another problem is that according to a page on the internet, this is the boss with more health in the entire game, making this a very long fight. I did find though an easy way to beat him, but it took me many deaths until I realized what I needed to do. I used my favorite weapon, the Hunter's Axe, and basically hit him in the head using the R2 button and dodge back once. You can do this the entire fight, but it will be long and your timings will have to be perfect. Despite this defiled version being a pain, I still love fighting this guy. He looks amazing, his attacks are awesome, and the music is epic. 10 out of 10 for this boss. Even though I died certified times, I can say that I am super proud that I beat this boss. Amygdala in the normal game is not really hard, but here in the Defiled Chalice she is an absolute nightmare. Practically all of her moves will one-shot you. And it also doesn't help that she has a massive health bar, so be prepared for a 10-minute fight, where the smallest mistake will be punished with an instant kill. There is a way though that can make this fight a bit easier. If you go next to her tail, she will eventually jump and her head will land right in front of you, but I find this extremely boring. So I prefer to fight her face to face and wait for when she exposes her head to get some really nice damage. I honestly really like this fight, and I think the music especially is very underrated. A great challenge that will make you feel like $1,000,000 if you succeed. Yes, I know the Bloodstar Beast is super easy, but I was still fresh in the game and he destroyed me again and again. But I will use him as the best example of how you can become good at this game. Because I fought every 22 bosses a second time after finishing the game. Except Lawrence, I never want to fight Lawrence again, never. And of the 21 bosses, I beat 14 in my first try, and the Bloodstar Beast was one of them. And this is a great example why you shouldn't quit this game like many people did after fighting Father Gascoigne or the Blood-Starving Beast. And if you think I hate this boss for killing me 60 times, no, I fucking love this boss. I didn't know about dodging to his left or fire paper, so fighting this guy face to face was one of the most adrenaline-inducing fights I've ever had. It also helps that you panic when you get poisoned, and he just doesn't stop chasing you, and also that he looks scary as fuck when he attacks. And this fight has also probably the best music I've ever heard that makes you go super stressed. It's also fucking amazing. In fact, the video that I'm showing you now is not when I finally defeated him, but me in all my noob glory after 50 defeats and being so close to finally killing him. And I do this shit. Oh my god, was I a horrible player. So Bloodstar Beast, thank you for teaching me never to quit a challenge and making me become a better player at this game. I enter the arena, he jumps, I die. That was probably 20 of the 120 deaths I had with this fucking boss. If you go fight this guy, don't do it on a level 55. It is torture. Because you will be one-shotted again and again. This is probably the only boss that is impossible to fight face to face. He's just way too fast, he gives you no openings to attack him, so everyone does the same thing to this boss. Go under him and hit his legs, but then he does that AoE and boom, one-shots you. So basically, he forced me to level up to 60. But nothing changed. 65, also the same. This fucker made me level up 15 points to level 70 until I finally did some good damage to him and he stopped one-shotting me. But that's not all. That makes you fucking angry to this boss? No. He also has the camera helping him. If you're like me and can play without the lock-on, you're basically under him pressing the R1 and having no idea what you're hitting or what the fuck you're doing. And there is one more thing. I mean, look at this. What the fuck is this, for real? Imagine yourself being so close to finally beating this guy and this happens. And you know you can't kill him and you have to start the fight all over again. Oh my god. This boss is a complete nightmare. But I do have to admit, it looks amazing. And the music is really, really good. Lauren Dark Beast, I fucking hate you. I don't even know where to start with this boss. I just hate Lawrence. Of all the 53 bosses I fought in this game, this was the only one that made me throw the PS controller in the air. I fought him on NG+, and I thought I would never beat him. In fact, this was the only boss that made me use the rune to be able to have 24 blood vials. And he was also the only boss that made me watch videos of other people fighting him, so I could learn how to fight him in his second phase. He is also the boss that made me level up more than any other. I went from 75 to level 100. That's 25 fucking points. And even at level 100, 2 shots of this guy and you're dead. And because most of his moves are combos, it's basically an instant kill. Just to give you an idea of how hard this boss is, most bosses have patterns or tells that make you figure out what attacks the bosses are gonna perform. Well, fuck that with Lawrence, just fuck it. He doesn't care. He has this one attack where he lifts his arm and hits the floor. And then he does the exact same move, but when he hits the floor, a fire explosion happens. And then he does the same move again, and he hits the floor 3 times instead. And then he does the same fucking move again, and he falls on top of you and one-shots you. Oh my god, it's just fucking impossible to understand this boss. And when you see his second phase, it's like a whole new boss entirely, with moves you never seen, and also extremely hard with fire explosions and lava everywhere, making this fight seem impossible. I forgot to mention also his crazy amount of HP. It took me 9 minutes to beat this guy. Oh my god. But hey, let's be realistic a little bit, and I mean, it's not all negative. He has some good things. I mean, he looks rather cool. And in my opinion, this is the best music in the entire game. In fact, I think this is the best music in a video game ever made. All I know is that after 150 deaths, I never want to fight Lawrence again. Never. You know that moment when you put something in your head and you just can't take it out, no matter what? Well, I decided I would beat this boss at level 75. And so I did. After 350 deaths, of course.
And I say of course because, well, look at this. This attack one-shots you. And this attack one-shots you. And this attack one-shots you. And this attack also one-shots you. He can't even one-shot you when you're 10 miles away from him. I mean, what the fuck was that? He can't even kill you when you're doing a visceral on him. What the fuck is this? The reason why I kept torturing myself and didn't level up is because I actually really like this boss. He's super hard. It's the scariest boss in the game, and the music is excellent. And you can learn his entire first phase, making this fight a blast. His second phase though, it reminds me of Lawrence. There is just no way you know what he's gonna do. So when I finally beat him, it was skill on his first phase and pure luck on the second. What makes me angry is that I don't even record the fight. I mean, after so many deaths, you just stop believing you are gonna beat this guy. But hey, here is proof. I am at level 75, just before going to the Queen, and 9 deaths later, I beat the Queen and got my well-deserved Platinum trophy. My biggest achievement in games ever. And if you're thinking where is the Orphan of Kos, well, let's just say I was super lucky against him, because luck is also a part of this amazing game. Thanks for watching, and let's hope they make Bloodborne 2 one day.